Hey everybody, so you just heard a part of the Star Wars theme song, and that is because for this video, I want to have my personal thoughts, personal feedback, and just, news in general and my thoughts and my expressions and my update for you about it. So, as all of you may know or are about to find out, Lucasfilm was bought out by Disney. Disney now owns the rights to the company. They run the company. George Lucas even handed over the chairman position to Kathleen Kennedy, who he's worked with several films, and so has Steven Spielberg and M. Night Shyamalan and some other big directors. She now runs everything, and she approves and talked with Disney and everything. And a sequel trilogy, meaning an episode 7, 8, and 9, will happen for the Star Wars franchise. And hopefully, this will conclude Star Wars once and for all. I know George Lucas, even when he first did 4, 5, and 6, stated that when he first wrote Star Wars, it was originally 9, if not 12 stories. But it sounds like at least that other 3 will happen. Um, and so for this video, I just want to talk about kind of my personal feelings of what they do with this sequel trilogy. I know it's going to come out in 2015. I know the writer of Toy Story 3 and Little Miss Sunshine is already attached to at least episode 7. I'm not sure about 8 and 9 yet. And I also know the writer of Empire Strikes Back is also going to be involved with some of the writing of this new trilogy. And I think the director is still underway of who exactly is going to direct which one, if any of them. I know Matthew Vaughn from Kick Ass and X Men First Class has been strongly considered for episode 7 at least. But anyway, um, so as far as this new trilogy goes, you guys, this sequel trilogy, I really hope they, because it is the 3 stories that happen after 4, 5, and 6 in the franchise, which we know the original 3 movies, not 1, 2, and 3 that happened, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. This is 4, 5, and 6, the stories that happen after those. Um, I really hope they bring some of those original trilogy characters back. I would like to see Han Solo again. I would like to see Luke Skywalker again. I would love to see Princess Leia again. Um, I'm assuming Princess Leia is now a queen, and she's now bringing the Republic back the way you would hope they would after Episode 6. Um, I would imagine Han Solo kind of being, this leader of, the guy you go to for a new ship or trade your ships in. If you need the Millennium Falcon, he's kind of the guy who runs that whole thing. It's been rumored Lando Calrissian might come back, and I would love to see him come back also, especially if him and Han Solo have something going on in this new trilogy of some kind. Um, it's also been rumored that Luke Skywalker would appear as like kind of the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. He would teach a new Jedi, kind of the way of the Force, the way Obi-Wan did with Luke a long time ago. So I think all that would be really cool, especially now that they're older. They're it's more appropriate for where they're currently at in life, and that would match with what's going on in the franchise. Um, so I would love to see the original trilogy characters come back for this. Um, I would like to see um, either a new Sith, a new evil organization, a new evil group. I would love to see, just something new brought to the franchise, even if it's not the villains. Just bring something new to it. Bring something that 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6 didn't have yet, but would need or should have to make better for the franchise. Maybe start an even bigger thing for Star Wars that we could never even imagine from before. Um, so whether it's a new Sith, a new villain, a new group of villains, something new going on with the light side of the Force, the good guys. Maybe now instead of just lightsabers and guns, there's now a new weapon on top of that too. Something along that line. Um, Maybe introduce new creatures, new planets. There's so many possibilities they could do. I would like them to keep the origin and the backstories from episodes 1 through 6 consistent. Don't change, Anakin's past, don't change Luke's past. Keep those things consistent. If it happened in the previous movies, keep it that way. If it, if we meet someone that's, a relative of Luke and we meet someone who's, you know, the Wookiees are talking about their time in Kashyyyk during Episode 3 when, the Execution Order 66 happened. Keep all that consistent. Make sure everything feels like it belongs in this trilogy of trilogies. The whole franchise. Make sure it belongs in this series of stories. I hope because Disney owns the rights now, I hope they don't Disneyitize it too much. Don't, because it is owned by Disney, you're worried, oh, it's going to be G-rated. Oh, they're going to add just, little Mickey Mouse cutesy characters in it. I really hope they don't do that. I hope they I was always telling people about this when this was first announced. I hope they treat this the way they gave Marvel kind of their freedom for Avengers, where, we own it, where our name might be on it at times when people really look at, who was behind the project. But this is your movie, we do own you, but at the same time, this is your product. This is what you're going to bring out to, this is what you made. Um, we're just here for your support. Go ahead and make what you want. And I hope that that's how Disney treats this. And like, oh, well, we own this, so we have to have, Mickey Mouse here, and we got to make sure, C-3PO and R2-D2 get so many cute things to do, and make sure the Ewoks are in here, and make sure, when you have the Sith characters, don't make sure they're not too dark for the kids. And, I hope they kind of stay away from all that. Be there, help them finance what they need to be, financed for the project, but don't Disneyitize it too much. And that kind of goes off my next point. Don't be afraid to get too dark. Episode 3 is infamous and famous for being one of the darker Star Wars movies to date. And I think that's kind of what benefited from it. I personally liked 3 better than 1 and 2 when it came to the prequels. And I hope 7, 8, and 9, specifically 9, when everything kind of concludes once and for all, that they don't get afraid to get too dark. With Episode 7, I understand, because the Sith or whatever this new group of villains might be is new. We think they were done in 6, but they really weren't. Don't be afraid to get too dark to make sure that they're back. If they really want to strike full force and make sure that the Republic knows that they're back, make sure us and the Republic know that they're back. If that involves killing innocent people, do it. I mean, do anything to make sure that this group of villains means business. They want to take over the universe. And also wrap everything up good for Episode 9. Episode 6 I thought ended the series beautifully. We got to see, Luke and Darth Vader, or in this case Anakin, finally meet face to face. He took his mask off and got to see him, like what his dad actually looked like behind the mask. And because Anakin's no longer in the franchise, we have to make sure that either he's referenced or there's a good reason why Anakin's no longer involved with it. His ghost might be in it, like Obi-Wan's ghost was in the original trilogy. Who knows? But I really hope they wrap everything up good. I would hate to see this franchise end where, like, well, they could have done more, or this was left open. And I really hope they don't do that. I hope they really do something in here where the dark side was really dissolved once and for all. There was no hiding Sith Lords. There was no, all that's gone, all dead. The good guys won once and for all. The Republic's good once and for all. So I just hope they wrap it up beautifully. I hope the writers really take their time and make sure that everything works well with the franchise and that it'll make the fans happy. So that's kind of my thoughts on the whole, Disney buying Lucasfilm and continuing the franchise, guys. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below. I'd love to see your thoughts on Disney pursuing this action for the franchise. George Lucas, I guess, is just a creative consultant in all this. He's not going to direct any of these. So let's hope whoever is going to direct them, like Matthew Vaughn, for example, does a good job and concludes Star Wars the way we wanted it to be concluded.